Hey everybody, we are teaching Vermillion. And this time we're going to spend time looking at the 2-inch brush. That's right. So let's switch to headset view and grab that brush. So out of these brushes, we're going to grab this one, the 2-inch brush, the big guy. We should probably get a canvas while we're at it, but we'll do that as we switch over. So this is the 2-inch brush, and as you can see, it's a nice flat, broad paintbrush. Now there's only one flavor, this bristly brush form, so you can move your thumb controls as much as you like. What you see is what you get. But what you get is actually fairly versatile. Not only does it have the large size, so that I can quickly and easily get a large amount of paint covered very smoothly, very quickly, but because it's got that shape, I can not only do the broad strokes, but I can also use it sideways to get narrow strokes. And it holds so much paint that I can get a lot of those strokes going before I start to run out of paint. Now, when this brush does start to run out of paint, you can actually see how it is losing paint on the brush. That will affect how it's going to paint on the canvas. The more paints it uses up, the more you're going to start to see the actual bristles in the brush stroke. Now you can see there's very little paint left in the brush, so we're seeing a lot of the brush texture as we paint. Sometimes that's what you want. So actually milking some paint out of the brush ahead of time, giving you a dry brush, gives you that bristly effect. Not only that, but if I have a completely clean brush and I go over some of these places with wet, you can see how it smears a little bit. It draws some of the paint down. If there were multiple colors, this would blend the paint together a little bit as well. So if I went in with a second color and then start going over it, you can see how it's blending, smearing these colors over each other, but using that bristle brush pattern. So this could be a wonderful effect for depending on the type of painting you're going for. Fur and hair, grass texture, anything that wants that slightly fuzzy, slightly furry kind of texture is very useful. Now the brush is big enough so it can also hold more than one color at a time. If I actually have several colors next to each other on the palette, now if I go over with a clean brush and just pick up one of those blend areas, now you can see I actually do have multiple colors on the brush itself. So if I get a fresh, clean canvas please, now with multiple colors, I can actually paint in these rainbows, and as I move my brush, you can see it does start to blend. If I start moving it too much, it'll actually blend the colors as I'm painting them. So if I actually start with a transparent red, yellow, blue, I could paint a rainbow over a waterfall in one stroke. Obviously, I wouldn't want it so wobbly, so using that hand stabilizer, let me get some blue and yellow and green this time. So now I'm going to activate the hand stabilizer so I can make these nice, soft, blended little bit of green and blue in one brush. Let's see if I can get more than one color at a time here. And you can see since I smeared over the green, you can see how multiple colors on one brush can give you a lot of different interesting painting effects. So the 2-inch brush is one that's big enough to give you a wide range of uses. Now not only can you paint with brush strokes, but our 2-inch brush also has a very, very big, flat, broad top. So if I go in with that top, poking the flat face of the brush against the canvas is called stipple. Obviously, yellow may not have been the best color to show up against the canvas, so let's grab a nice, strong blue again. And you can see how I get these wonderful little cluster patterns. So I'm going to rotate my grip on the brush to go horizontally. Oops. And start doing some stippling pattern like that. Not only does it give you this interesting pattern effect, but it gives you a little more texture on the canvas as well. This can be used for a lot of different things. It could be used for highlights in trees and bushes. This could be cresting waves on the ocean. Do this in white against your blue background. Now, if you do one color on top of another, it will eventually start to blend them. The first few taps will stay nice and bright, but now you can see my brush is picking up the green. It's starting to brown out. So we could either keep going back and get a clean brush every couple of stipples. Oops, I have a smeary stipple there. Or I could actually go up to a higher layer. So I could stipple as much as I want and never have to worry about blending. Now it's always going to be that big, broad, rectangular shape. So if you do want smaller clusters, round clusters, we do have other brushes that'll use that same stipple technique. But this is great if we're doing a long breaking wave or a row of hedges, anything that's going to use that shape combined with that kind of pattern. I saw a very good planet with rings, and the rings were made with that stipple kind of pattern. So the 2-inch brush, it may not have different flavors, but it does have a lot of good uses. I hope this makes sense. I hope this inspires you to create some more using this wonderful brush. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Likewise, feel free to link in any of your creations. We don't mind showing off other Vermillion paintings. Our YouTube channel, youtube.com/shamelessmayhem, does all these types of tutorials on a regular basis, so feel free to subscribe. I hope this was helpful. I hope this inspires, and we'll see you next time. Have fun, everybody.